Hello and welcome to Sunday the 5th of November, and this is the final day for my old LG washing machine. I had done a few videos on it in the past couple of months on the wash cycles and the spins, and according to the washing enthusiasts, they like to see these things working. And I've been having a few issues with a little bit of wear noise on the drum bearing, and I decided that as I'd already replaced the tumble dryer earlier on this year, that it was about time that the old washing machine was replaced, because this is now 11 years old and it's done pretty well over the 11 years I've had it. The new machine has just been delivered. It's now in the front room, and more about that one in a bit. But we're just going to be saying a sort of a last video just to say goodbye to this machine in situ, because I'm preparing now to remove this from the plumbing. I've already disconnected the pipes in the back of the sink, because when I finish doing this video and the unboxing video in there of the new one, and we've tested the new one out, then before I remove this, I want to make sure that one's working as it should and spins and comes on and does what it should do. And if it does, this will be then pulled out from under here and the new one will be going in its place. I have had another LG to replace this one, and the news is that I can already tell you is that Currys have delivered the wrong one. The one I ordered they haven't sent, unfortunately, and the last time Currys delivered me an item, it was this appliance here, and this had a big dent in the back. So I'm afraid Currys, they're not very good with delivery. I mean, it's come up that both of the items came on the right day, but unfortunately this one was damaged in the back, and the new machine, whilst it's the right machine, it's the right type, it's the wrong colour. I had ordered a white machine to match this tumble dryer, and what have they done? They've sent me another silver machine. So it's basically, the one they've sent me is the same colour as this. Now I'm not going to send it back, I will keep it, because if I ever get rid of this, which it's liable to, that this will need replacing before the machine does, and I'll probably just get another silver dryer afterwards. Because let's face it, I mean, white doesn't really fit in very well with this kitchen, does it? Everything else is silver in here. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. The machine they've sent me to replace this is the machine I ordered, but it's not the right colour. It's not the colour I ordered. They sent me a silver one instead of a white one. And I said that to the delivery guy, because as soon as it came in and I saw the word silver on the side of it, I says to him, "Oh, I did a white one." He says, "Not my problem, mate. You'll have to phone the gaffer up." He said, "We'll have to phone him and get another one ordered for it." He says, "No, it's alright, I'll have a look at it first and decide whether I want to change it or not." You know, these delivery guys, they want to be in and out because they've got so many deliveries on in a day, you don't want to be messing them about, do you? So, anyway, we might as well turn this on and have a last look at the features on here before it goes, and then I'll end this video and I'll start another video of the unboxing of the one in there, and we'll take the transit screws out and get it tested and all this, that and the other. So, well, there we go, just for the old memory there, the old memories for me. It's bonfire night, so we're having this new one on the 5th of November 2017. I still say 19, you know. So old-fashioned, aren't I? Well, it's the 5th of November 2017, bonfire night, and the final day for this old LG washer, which is a fairly early model direct drive from 2006. It's worked okay for the last 11 years. I've had a few issues with it, with the detergent drawer here, in that the conditioner, if you put it in right at the beginning of the wash, usually it used to get washed through into the wash before the final rinse. For some reason water kept getting added to this, a little tiny bit of water every time it filled, and if it got too high it would siphon itself out before the final rinse. That was one of the issues I had with it, and I just got round that by adding the conditioner in the second rinse. Normally I'd put it inside this drawer, and what I would have to do is to take it out, empty the water out of it in the sink like that, put it back in during the wash, this is during the second rinse, and then put the conditioner in there then, and it would take it in the final rinse. But I learned to get round that. I wasn't going to replace the machine just because it had that issue. I think the suspension on it isn't that wonderful anymore, because I had noticed that when it was filling quite high with water to the high level, the drum was sinking a lot lower down in the machine than it used to, and it was distorting all the door seals as it used to come down. There was a small amount of play on the drum bearing, which I believe is the drum bearing rather than the spider, which is unsurprising really given the age of the machine and the amount of use it had. But you know, it had probably 2-3 washes a week over 11 years, so it wasn't heavily used. I mean, some families do 2 or 3 washes a day in their machines, and consequently, you know, their machines only last them, what, I don't know, 2 or 3 years before the drum bearings give out. Washing machines now, they're not built anywhere near what they used to be in the 70s. People say, you know, things aren't made like they used to be. Well, you know, things aren't the same price as they used to be either. In the 1960s and 70s, you'd have paid probably a month's wages for a washing machine. They cost an absolute fortune in real terms back then. They were built, they had metal drums, they had metal drum casings, they had really, you know, they were really sturdy old-fashioned washing machines were. You know, when they went wrong, you'd have them repaired. But with these, it's not economically viable. For me to replace the drum bearing in this, the entire of the machine would have to be pulled out, the drum would have to be removed, it'd have to be split in two. They're a plastic drum casing. I would need bearing pullers to get the bearings out of the casing. The chances are the spider would have to be replaced as well. And, you know, at the last look, a spider was about 60-70 quid. And then you've got the bearings on that as well. Then all the hassle of doing it. And on an 11-year-old machine, I just decided that I wasn't going to be prepared to do that, or even try. So when I got a new one for £330, you know, if that lasts 5 years, I just replace it every time. If that's what they want us to do, that's what we have to do. This is a throwaway society now, unfortunately. It's not like the old days. When something goes wrong now, parts are so expensive that it's just cheaper to buy a new machine. Especially if the machine's this old, if it's 11 years old. So this one here is 512 on the serial number, which I believe was probably it's probably week 12 2005 or December 2005. This was made in Korea, the new one's made in Poland, so there's a change straight away. They've moved production from the Far East to Eastern Europe. Now, Poland's a very cheap country to manufacture in, so I would imagine they've done that to try and keep prices down, because these were quite expensive when they first came out. I mean LGs still are expensive, but I got mine on special offer. Well, they say it was special offer, but shops will tell you anything, won't they, to sell you something. I don't know whether it was originally £560, but, you know, you're supposed to just take their word for it. As far as I was concerned, it was a reasonable price. I've seen reviews on the new machine done on YouTube, and they seem to be okay. The 6-motion ones. So let's turn this on for the last time before, and it plays its little tune there and the little lights come on. We can just set it on maybe just to do a short little spin cycle. If I put it on, let's just put it on an 800, and we'll fire it away with nothing in there. Okay. Now it's still connected up to the drain, because obviously any excess water in there I'm going to have to drain out. So what I'm going to do is, when this is done, I will open this little bottom door and drain out the drain pump inside. All you do is open this and there's a little tiny hose inside there. Well, if I just get a screwdriver from the top, it's basically you open that bottom door. And this, I'm not going to do it now because the pump is on at the moment, but basically that little tiny hose there, you would use that to drain out the pump. And before I remove the machine, that's what I'll be doing, so there's no water left in the bottom. and that is incidentally your drain filter there, which you remove and get all the detritus out every once in a while. The new one's obviously got one of these, but I will be going into that when I show the unboxing of that one. So here we can see the drum going round for pretty much the last time. I will be keeping this machine in the front room for probably a few weeks, to be honest. I won't be getting rid of it straight away because I want to make sure this new machine works properly before I get rid of this. If I do have issues with the new machine, I want to be able to put this one back in, because if it does have to go away and be repaired or be replaced, I don't want to be without a washing machine for weeks on end while they're umming and ahhing about what they're going to do about the new one. There we go. So, and then after that, I don't know whether I'm going to donate it to the British Heart Foundation or whether I'm going to dismantle it and send it to the scrapyard. I don't know what I'm doing with this one yet. I mean, it's got worn bearings on it, but it still works, if you know what I mean. But if I donated it to the British Heart Foundation, I mean, they'll probably sell it to somebody, and if it then breaks down with them with it, I don't know what the procedure is for the British Heart Foundation. If they sell something to somebody, and then within a few weeks it packs up, whether they give them a refund or not. Maybe Brandon, if he watches this, could comment. I don't know if Brandon actually watches my videos, but if he does, what do the British Heart Foundation do if they sell a machine to somebody that subsequently breaks down pretty quickly? Do they give them a refund or what? I don't want to give this to the Heart Foundation if they don't give refunds to people, if it does break down for somebody. If it lasts them for 6 months, then, you know, it's pretty good. You know, that'll get, it's a sort of a something that tides them over. But they do charge a lot of money for these machines. I went in the British Heart Foundation this week to have a look in there, and they had some vacuum cleaners in there. They had a Dyson in there, and I think it was a DC26 City. It was absolutely tiny, and they wanted 50 quid for that, and they hadn't even cleaned it. It was still full of dirt inside. So I mean, they don't seem to even clean the machines when they put them on the display to people. So, you know, if they're going to just sell this to somebody without testing it or checking it, I don't know whether I should donate it to the Heart Foundation. I was a bit disappointed in the fact that they don't even clean the vacuum cleaners before they put them on the display, and then charge very high prices. Not very good, really, is it? But anyway, it's still deciding now whether it wants to spin. They were so quiet, weren't they, LGs? Well, they are so quiet. It isn't making much bearing noise now because there's no load in it, there's no washing, it's empty. It seems to be going round okay. But I'm not one of these people that like leaves a washing machine in until literally the drum is rubbing on the rubber, it's so worn out, and the smoke coming off it. I'll replace something if I think there's a, you know, usually long before the situation where it's clanking around inside with a broken spider. Look at that, in perfect balance, that. Beautiful. I'm not putting it on the 1400 spin because it takes it would take 17 minutes to go through all that, so we're just going to do a last little quick 800 spin in it before it goes. But no lights on there because I just selected a spin cycle basically on its own, which you can do on this. I don't know why it keeps starting and then stopping. I wish it usually does that once or twice and then goes into the proper spin. Yeah, I can hear a little tiny bit of bearing wear noise on there now. It's not bad, as I say, it's only very slight. You can hear it there. It was quieter than this when it was new. Just a little bit of movement on the drum there, you can see. That's a bit surprising really, considering there's nothing in it at all. I would have thought it would be perfectly balanced now with being empty. And there we see it, the WM14225FD, the outgoing machine. It's final day after 11 years of service. Just doing one more final little spin before it's removed. Well, it actually doesn't sound too bad today. There's a tiny little bit of bearing noise there, but when you think of what some hot points and indicits sound like when the drum bearings are going, they sound like an airplane about to take off. And this is still relatively quiet really. Just out of interest to people, I think I have pointed this out before, but if you have got one of these, you can actually find out what the speed is of the spin, how fast it's actually going. There's a speedometer function. If you press the time delay button and then the spin button at the same time, you can see from there what speed it's actually spinning at. And it's actually spinning slower than it should be, because it's usually 800, it's actually over on the 770 odd. I thought I could detect a bit of a slowdown. Wonder why it's spinning slower than what it should. Odd that. I wonder if it's because it's empty and it's detected that, so it's slowed the spin speed down a bit. There we go. Well, that sounds a little bit noisier than it used to. I think that's the paddles rattling. Well, that's it, I'm afraid. Your life here is finally over. Once it clicks on to end there, that's the last time, probably, that it'll be doing it for me. The end of its life. Whether someone else has it, I don't know. I may end up disassembling the drum to have a look at the spider and the bearing behind, and then just take it to the tip. So that's it. As one washing machine ends its life here, another one is about to begin. And that will be covered in the next video, where we'll be looking at the new machine. It's still in the front room there, in its box. And the next video I do will be the unboxing. I have taken the tie wraps and that off it, so I needed to check the colour of it inside, but the next video will be of the new machine. And then the next one from that will be of the new machine when it is in situ here. And the next time you see this kitchen here, this machine will be gone. So, goodbye old friend. This is the last time that you'll be featuring on any of my videos. Goodbye.